Welcome, these are grammar lessons for Year 3 and 4 children, and this is week 9. This video will be for lesson 1 and 2. Our focus for this week is to improve our report writing skills. We did a little bit of this last week, but this week we're going to write a different type of report. We will learn the definitions of the word non-chronological. We will also be investigating the features of information on non-chronological reports. So our learning objective for this lesson and our next lesson is to know the features of an information report. By the end of these lessons, you will be able to explain what the word non-chronological means. You will also have read a range of information reports, and you will even be able to identify the features of an information report. So hopefully you can remember from last week what chronological order means. We're going to learn today what non-chronological means, and hopefully you should be able to work that out. But the dictionary definition says that it means something that is not arranged in time order. Most information or non-fiction texts are not arranged in time order but by topic. For example, a book about the body might be organised into chapters about muscles, the skeleton, or organs, etc. What is an information report? Information or non-chronological reports aim to give us information on a topic. They are useful for studying things we don't know a lot about. They don't have to be read in any particular order. Unlike the chronological reports, newspaper reports that we were looking at last week, where time order really matters, in this kind of text, the time order is not significant. It doesn't matter. The order in which the topics are placed is the important thing, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that now. Here are the key features of an information report, and you'll notice that lots of these are very similar to the features of a newspaper report that we looked at last week, but there are some key differences and we need to be really careful to spot those. First of all then, an information report will include headings and subheadings, and these are really important for the way the information is organised on the page. They will include pictures and diagrams. Often the pictures will be photographs, and there may be graphs and maps included too. Information reports are written in the third person and in the present tense, which is a really key difference to last week. They will be organised into paragraphs. The information will be organised into paragraphs. There will be an introduction, there will be the main body of information, there may be several paragraphs about that, and then there will also be a concluding paragraph. Non-chronological reports, information reports, include detailed and factual information. And so in these kinds of texts you will see a lot of Tier 2 and Tier 3 language. And finally, in an information book you will often find a contents page, an index and a glossary, and we'll investigate those a little bit further in a moment. These features are all going to be really important for the work you do over the next few days. So here is an example of an information book. Okay, it's an extended report. This book is about the sun, the moon and the stars. You can see the title there, and you can read the information on the back about what's inside this book if you want to pause the video and have a little look. We're going to see if we can find the features inside this book. So as soon as we open the front cover, we find the contents page. The contents page will always be found at the beginning of the book, And here it has listed the chapter headings. These are all the chapters in this book. And next to the chapter headings is the page number where you can find each of these chapters. And they are organised in numerical order. And we can use the contents page to help us to find information within this book. Turning over again, let's have a look at one of these chapters about the moon. And if you pause the video and read through this page, you should be able to find lots of the features we mentioned. So there is a heading. In this case, actually, there are no subheadings, but there's a very clear heading so we know what this chapter is about. There are pictures, and as we said, these are photographs. Third person is present. They use the noun, the moon, and then afterwards they use the pronoun it, and it's written in the present tense. Is, lights are examples of present tense verbs. The information is organised into paragraphs, it's detailed and factual, and we can find examples of tier 2 and 3 vocabulary. Now obviously this book is aimed at children, so it is quite simple language, but even so we can see those features of a non-chronological report really clearly there. Moving towards the back of the book, here is the glossary. The glossary is usually found at the back, at the end of the book, and it takes some of the tricky tier 3 words that you might have come across in the text, and it gives you the definitions of those. It's like a little mini dictionary. And then moving on again, we find the index. Now the index is another way that we can find information within this text. We said at the beginning, it didn't matter what order you read this text in, you might just be dipping in and out of it to find some information, and the index is one way that you can do that. It's usually found at the end, and it's organised a little bit differently to the contents page. First of all, it's in alphabetical order, and there's a little bit more detail here. We haven't just got the chapter headings, but we've got lots of the words or the themes or the ideas, the important things, information in this book listed there with the page numbers, so that if you want to find out some information about any of those things, you can find which pages to turn to. Today and tomorrow you are going to do a similar task to the one we've just done together. You have got 2 examples of information reports, non-chronological reports. The first one is about sharks. Now your job is to read the information report carefully to start off with. Hopefully you'll learn some fun facts. Make sure you understand it. So you must look up any unknown words in the dictionary and find out what they mean. This doesn't come with a glossary, unfortunately, so you've got to make your own. Can you find all the features? You might want to go back in the video until you can get to that list, and I want you to highlight them on the text when you find them, right over the page. And if you are finished, I would like you to write 5 questions, or you could do more if you wanted to. 5 questions that could be answered by someone after they have read this text. We said at the beginning that people read information reports to find out information. So if somebody reads this report, what do they now know that they didn't know before? See if you can test them on it. If you've got time, or if there are some people there you can quiz, maybe ask them your questions and see if they can find the answers in the text. Tomorrow you're going to do exactly the same thing, but with a different information report, a different non-chronological report. This one's about crocodiles and alligators. So read it through really carefully, make sure you understand it, look up any unknown words in the dictionary. If you want to write your own little glossary on the back of the sheet, please do so. Have a look for all the features and highlight them on the text, and then when you've finished, write 5 questions at least that could be answered by someone after they have read this text. Hopefully by the time you've done that, you will have a really good knowledge of all those features of an information report that you can use later in the week. Good luck, and I'll see you soon.